right, well, appreciate it, Parker. Good to see you guys here. At least we got a couple of you here today. Hadn't jumped off the ship yet. Just a very disappointing defeat, as you well know. There's not a whole lot to be said. Turnovers have done us in the two games that we should have won. We're 2-5. I don't think we're a 2-5 football team. I say that really in my mind we're 2-3 on the season. There's 3 games there at our level that we were in the ball game. Positives are we're competitive. But again, at the end of the day, you can't have untimely penalties. You can't have as many turnovers as you have. I mean, you think about the 2 defeats we've had that in games that we could have won. We've had 9 turnovers, and I don't have a magic formula for that. I'm kind of at loss. If you go out there and you harp on it all the time, it may get worse. And the only thing I know is, kind of when you get those shanks in golf, you just got to keep practicing and you got to keep getting after it. One thing that has concerned me in those games is just our lack of maturity. We got a bunch of young players having to play, and that's one thing that excites me. I look up there on the board offensively. Other than Kamali and Drew, we're all freshmen, sophomores that are getting a lot of the playing time. A few juniors sprinkled in that are good players defensively. We got Travis Taylor and Anthony Hayes. That are seniors, Kadarius Sanders, and then Felton Collins. And other than that, you're dealing with a lot of freshmen that are out there playing. So, and being competitive. Before the season started, it's funny. I said, man, we got a team that could either be 10-2 or 2-10, and hopefully we'll be somewhere in between as we move forward. We still got a lot of season left to play. We got 5 games that. Anything can happen in, and then you finish the season at 7-5, and you've had a good season. The most wins have been around here in a little bit in a while. So, but again, at the end of the day, and I told the team this yesterday, is that we can do all the practicing we want to do, we can do all the training we want to do, but we can't go out there, we can't catch it, we can't throw it for you. We can't tackle for you. We got to be able to do those things, and it was a game that I went into that I was very concerned about. We'd come off 2 overtime games. I didn't think we had a very good week of practice, I was probably as mean and ornery last week at practice every day than I have been since I started coaching, because I just had that feeling, but I still thought we'd be good enough to overcome it. I thought, we go up 10-0 early in the game. Game could be over with at that point. Even though we didn't do that at the end of the game, I said, all right, we're going to go down and score. We'll go in overtime, and we'll win in overtime, and then we turned it over again. So just a very disappointing, unacceptable defeat. But, the only thing you can do is go back and practice and try to get better this upcoming week and have some guys become a little more accountable about how they play the ball game.
What was their mindset yesterday, just in the meeting after you talked to them? What was the team's mindset?
We have a pretty good group of guys. We really do. We got a group of guys that work hard. And I think last week we just wasn't very focused in my mind. We worked okay. We just wasn't very focused. And you have that. I don't care what level you're in, pro all the way to the middle school. There's always a week during the season that you have to overcome a sluggish week of practice, and we're not good enough to do that yet. Good mindset, disappointed. Hey, they're smart. They know. You think about it, we threw 2 interceptions, right? But we laid the ball on the ground 7 times during the game. 7 times. Fortunately, we only gave up 3 of those. They know. They know that, when we're clicking, and if we're going to turn the ball over and have some silly mistakes, that we're not going to win. So I expect us to be a lot better this week.
And one play we unfortunately overlooked, the 4th and goal, the 2 Wildcat plays. You had run that a couple times in practice. And when I'd seen you'd run it with Pokey, ran it with Roman, just kind of go through those 2 plays down there and how that's kind of an antithesis of the game in itself.
Well, we all our backs have to learn all our backs know how to do it. You probably just called us the day that it was Pokey's turn to do it. Roman's kind of our guy down there. You know, the first time we were setting them up to run it back the other way, and they had us outnumbered, which we knew we wasn't sure, but if they stopped that one, we knew we had it play side, and then play side, you know, we had a good player that's a freshman. We had 3 freshmen on that side, and one of them missed the block, and if he makes his block, we walk in untouched, but. You know, my deal with that was I didn't think Austin Peay could move the ball well on us, and they only had one really good drive on us. So, you know, my thing was I knew how we practiced, I knew how we warmed up, and to me, there was no question that you go for it on that one time. I mean, I'm trying to put them away early because I knew the longer they hung around, bad things are going to happen to you. And then also I figured, you know, if we didn't get it, we'd still get good field position out of it. And lo and behold, their punter averages 31 yards a punt, and he must have kicked it 70 yards on that punt. So that kind of changed the complexity of the game early on. But, you know, that's 2 weeks in a row we've been down on the 1 yard line and wasn't able to punch it in, and that's very disappointing.
About the defense, though, you said after the game you thought they played well enough to win. I agree with you. That has been a positive over the last few weeks, is the improvement from where they were early on, hasn't it been?
No doubt. I mean, of course, it's a team game. You know, I mean, your goal is not to let them score, but we've been playing much better on defense. So I've been real pleased with that. You know, really the biggest thing with us right now is overall is we just lack explosive plays. You know, golly, you know, we're on defense, we're kind of giving up a little bit, but then we're stopping them, which is okay. And then offensively, everybody's just kind of sitting back. And it's like, all right, we're going to give them everything underneath. They're not, and we're not going to give them anything over the top, and they're going to mess up. And sure enough, I mean, that'd be the way I'd play us right now. So from that standpoint, defensively, we are getting better. And offensively, if we can just hang on to the ball, I mean, we'd probably be one of the tops in the nation.
What do you know about Kentucky Wesleyan coming in for this game?
You know, I don't know a lot about the teams they've been playing, so it's kind of hard to compare them. But, you know, they're much improved than they were last year. You know, again, it goes back to me is just, I mean, what team of ours is going to show up this week? But, you know, again, we better be ready. I mean, I promise you one thing, we're not taking anybody lightly. We never have, never will. And you know, this is a big game for us. We need a win in the worst way.
Did make a change at punter. How do you feel that worked out for you?
Well, I made the change with Zach Shipley just out of necessity with Bogard being hurt. I thought he did a good job. We averaged 41 yards a kick. You know, we got a little bit different way of getting to the kick now with him. We had to kind of move some guys around and set up a new formation. But, you know, I thought that worked really well. And the 3 times he came on to kick, I thought he did a good job for not having done it since his high school days.
You talked a little bit about, you know, people not giving you what you want offensively. Does that you maybe make a change then? Maybe try to run the ball a little bit more. Maybe go a little more read option and try to pass off that maybe a little bit more.
Well, you know, we run the read option a different way. We fake it in there and then throw quick slants and out routes and things of that nature. You know, we had our best rushing game of the year, and you know we have so I mean I don't know if we will run it more. I mean, we kind of usually take what the defense gives us. We had some guys open. We missed some balls. I mean, you know, we had it before we went forward on our Wildcat package, as you like to call it. You know, we ran Janowski Davis across the formation, and all week we've just been banging old Janowski on the pylon for a touchdown, and he's wide open. And but we decided to throw it to the guy in the back of the end zone. So, things like that are frustrating for us right now. But again, at the end of the day, we run our offense. We try to force the issues on some things with them, and then at the end of the day, you kind of got to take what they give you. And right now, golly, you look back to Tennessee Tech. Golly, we went up and down the field and fumbled. The other night, we go up and down the field and fumble or throw an interception. Boy, hey, you need to come over there and call some plays when that. And you talking about being frustrated is very difficult when you're moving the ball, but they always end in turnovers.